Okay. All right, guys. I guess it's summertime based on the amount of people here today. You could tell school is out or schools are going to be out. I think by tomorrow, that's the last of the New Jersey schools that have classes in session. So by tomorrow, everybody will be out of school. Yes. Yeah. So our breakfast was sent to us last week by Quaker Corporate based on the Appreciation Day. But since we had already ordered a big breakfast, I brought it home, froze it, and brought it back. So there's a lot of different goodies there to try today from, what is that place called? Harry and David's, yes. So that's where the breakfast was sent from today, just so you know. Yeah, if you were, yeah. There's a line for the toaster. Huh? Yes, you can fit more than one. Yes, you can move stuff back to back. So how many weeks till 4th of July? 2 weeks. 1.5 almost, okay? Time is flying by. Somehow, winter seems to be really, really long. Spring just snaps by us, and summer is like basically way too short, unfortunately. But especially this summer. I mean, it's been so cold the last few days. But it is officially summer. Yesterday was officially summer, so the kids are, like I said, almost officially out of school, and unfortunately, that sometimes brings our mindset to not doing as much work, lazier days, right? Enjoying ourselves and doing stuff like that. And in our business, that's hard because we are our business. We run our business, right? So we are responsible for how our business goes moving forward. So I talk with a lot of successful agents on a regular basis. And if I had to boil down what makes those people so successful, it's not that they're all insanely innovative and breaking new ground. It's one simple common trait. They're doing the work. They're constantly working. So when something goes under contract, in their mind, they no longer have business. And where am I getting my next business from? Where am I getting my next business from? And that's how they run. So you can choose to work harder, to stay up to date with the market, constantly be refining your skills and do better than ever before. The top agents will sail through this and the rest will sink. But it's up to you which category you're in. So again, we can make complaints and we can say this market sucks and it's challenging, which is true, absolutely. But we've been in challenging markets before, and we've been in sucky markets before. So it's really about the agent more than it is the market. Are you able to change, pivot? What are you able to do to get through this challenging market? Right. So I did have my NCJR brokers meeting, I guess a week and a half ago. Last week we had a lot of people here, so I wasn't able, a lot of speakers, I should say. So I wasn't able to go through some of the things, but again, just some updates for you guys. So I thought this was a great point that Mary Kano made when we were discussing something, and it's like, make sure your buyers know. And I know you know this, but do your buyers understand this? When they get an offer accepted, right? In their mind, it's their house, right? In their mind, they've made it. They've got the offer accepted. You do not have a deal until you are out of attorney review. Make sure they understand that. Set up the expectations, especially for new buyers, right? Because that's not their expectations. And so we've seen a lot lately. I've heard from a lot of agents, and they were very upset because they don't practice business this way when they're working for a seller. Is they'll get a call and say, sorry, another offer came in, and they're not even getting an opportunity for their client to put in another offer, right? Or to match what they have or anything like that. It's very disappointing to them and frustrating, and it's very disappointing to their client, right? So again, just make sure you're setting up those expectations, regardless of what market we're in. Seller can make final decisions, but it must be in writing and it must be available to all buyer's agents. If a buyer agent requests to see those instruction by the sellers, you must provide it. So for instance, you call and it's still active or an attorney review and they say, sorry, my seller says no more showings. You can request to see that in writing, okay? So something like that in this market, that if the seller says when a home is active, no more showings, that's against being active, right? That's against being in active status. That's why the MLS does not allow you to write that in the instructions. No more showings, please, right? Because your client is overwhelmed and doesn't want anyone and took a great offer or whatever the case may be. You cannot write that. So the same thing, anything that they tell you that the seller told them, my seller said, you can ask for that and they should be able to provide it in writing, okay? And then again, lastly, source of financing is not a protected class. So when the seller decides they don't want to look at FHA or they don't want to take VA or anything like that, there's really nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. You know, unless we're representing the seller, we can educate them, right? We can't, as a buyer's agent, there's really not much we can do with someone else's seller. So again, you know, it's a conversation to have with your client when you're putting in offers for VA and FHA. I believe the doctor's loans, what I heard, the physician loans, they're no longer doing those. Is that true, Anthony? Okay, because I know, I heard from an agent that had to close ASAP that they stopped doing those, and so it had to be done in a certain time frame. So again, just some updates. Now, of course, the biggest story of the week is the new lead paint dust testing that has to be done for tenants, right? For landlords, actually. The landlords now have to get a lead paint dusting done. As of, this says July 22nd. My next size says July 24th from the same source, just so you know. So that's how convoluted it is. So this was brought up at the managers forum, and unfortunately, Mary Kano and Gary Larch know just as much as we do, which is very little, because you know NAR rolled something out with nothing in place. Meaning, at the beginning of the year, it was an inspector that was going to do it. So a home inspector could do it if they were certified, right? Now they're saying that towns have to have their own inspectors. Well, if you call the towns, which they have, nobody has any yet. They don't even have them on you know, in the town yet. So really, I don't know that this is going to be implemented to July 24th, right? There's no way for them to make it enforceable if the towns are prepared, right? But it's something that you have to remember moving forward, that now your landlords have to get lead-based lead-based dusting done, okay, in between each rental. And then they also, Mary and Gary also mentioned that there was one that I think they're a little extra for that lasts a little longer, but it doesn't last for life. Nothing does.
Every time it turns over.
Every time it turns
So
over.
if you have a 1-year lease, every year.
Because I was talking to an agent, I was like, well, what could really change, right? Might have been Deb, I think. And she was like, what if they punch a hole in the wall, right? What if they change something? Like, that's the reason why it may not, during that time, there may not be any lead paint dust, but there may be if something happens during the time that person is there to those walls where the dust is now out. Yeah, Phyllis. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. No, they take samples from the wall and then they send it to a lab and the lab tests it to see. They have to have it remediated before they could. I don't know. I wish, that's what I'm saying. It's so vague right now. Nobody knows. Right. Right. Do they knock the walls down and have to put up sheetrock? Like, I don't know. I don't know that. That would be worse. Yes, that would be worse. Right. So the particles, airborne.
More than just testing the paint on the wall. Because if somebody renovates, knock down a wall or whatever, it is.
Very good.
So again, unfortunately, we know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So next week, June 30th, which is next Thursday, NJAR is having a lead paint inspection and remediation webinar. So all your questions will be answered then. So that would be a great question, Phyllis, then. So sign up for it. I have the link up there. I've already signed up for it. I'm gonna take it, but everybody should do it, because then if you come back to me afterward and say, well, what about this? You know, they're the people to ask, because they're the ones who put this, are enforcing this and putting this into place. I only know what they're telling me at the time. So make sure that you take the time next Thursday. It's 1 o'clock, June 30th. And again, they sent out an email, but if you didn't get it for any reason, I have the link here. I sent it in yesterday's email to you guys, so I'm making sure I get it out there to you guys. Make sure this is really important. Your questions are valuable because you guys are out there in the streets. You know what questions to ask at this point, right? And what you need to know moving forward. So again, nobody really knows much about it at this point. We're all learning. So Anthony, I was bringing you up earlier just because this market is so ridiculously crazy. I felt like you would have a lot of insight to share moving forward. Bad news, good news, whatever we want to call it.
I'll take the consumer inflation for the previous market. And obviously influenced the Fed as they raised the short-term rates to 0.75, more than the market was expecting a few weeks ago. Housing starts, retail sales, and industrial production also came in short of expectations, evidence that the economy is slowing. Interest rates have moved significantly in anticipation, meaning with the sharpest increase in years, and it actually eased a bit after the meeting. This week they'll focus on the real estate sector, existing home sales, are both from the top. So the number of 6% is scary. And it's kind of rising, it's leading to, well, kind of see what that looks like. If you're seeing things that are much lower than that, it could be variable rate loans, just rate mortgages, and not so based on 30 years, very cognizant of that. A lot of lenders are showing opportunities right now to the buyers. Okay, you know, things that are advertised, if you see like something like 5 1/4 out there is coming with an extra 2 points, so it's a $500,000 loan. Their closing costs are an additional $10,000. You know, so people need to be aware of that. But it's like anything else, the draw is there, right? It's visual, and it makes people make the call, and they try to latch it that way. So it's a super competitive market in my world, as it is for you guys too as well. These things. But we're just trying to maintain this. I mean, there's already big discussions of another 3 quarters coming in September, from the Fed. So it's just it's a tough, challenging time right now. Rates are still historically low on the, based on kind of what things look like, on the average over the last 50 years. But it's causing challenges for people to know what they want to do. Do they stick with this, stay with this? Do they kind of wait it out? A lot of theory, right? Kind of hold off and maybe might kind of come back a little bit. Values, do they decrease? I mean, everybody's kind of wondering if we're going to be unsure what to do. Just using the phone, proving our people, and my total payment on 80 house. 50 something hundred in taxes. Don't be wrong, the price goes on the lower end. 32, 33, for a house that's come out with no tax. On a buyer like that 6 months ago, 26, much more powerful, right? Much more affordable. So, in her mindset, she's like, holy smokes, if I do, if I wait this out, values go down. So it's a challenging market for people to kind of make decisions. They're looking for all of us to kind of give guidance. And should I wait? I don't know. Like if you could afford it now, if you have to buy, you have to sell. Like this is what you need to do. We don't know what the crystal ball everybody wants to see is going to be. Yeah. Sure. And that's the conversation I'm having with everyone. Every one of my buyers that have closed this year when rates have started to move up off the 2-something rates into the 3s and 4s. Like, listen, this is how the fund's going to go. We're going to buy now, and the goal is whatever that time frame looks like with the benefit of we're going to refinance. Push all the years before you
done that, now after that, statement.
Well, and I do, I could.
Now you read.
Gotcha.
I'm sure most of us get that question, but that's, I've been saying that to a few of my buyers, and they're like, oh. I said, yeah, that's what you do. You don't, I said, just refinance. I'm telling you, it's that easy. Right?
Leave that last one out.
But see, but now I'm trying to say that, because I'm a mortgage person, now I can't write it down what you just said. Because I don't like you, what did you say? Most of the people, most of the.
For the first number of years, most of the actual thing that's going to is principal. So you have a principal.
Tell them that. Oh, yeah.
No, I would, he's the first way he said it. Was exactly what I would say, because I still don't know. Because I'm not the mortgage person. If any, if you guys, you would say the first one, would you say one? Oh, what I'm saying.
Yeah, we do it.
Okay. I would like to know, just to add one more statement to the refinance. And then push them over.
And that's what I'm telling people.
That's all I'm asking for. is the dialogue. That, I do say that, but I feel like. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna get her.
We can find it.
I know idea, but I'll explain.
If I'm not spending 100,000 over list price, then it's pretty much even. I'd rather pay higher interest than 100,000 over list. And this way, because I could always refinance at a later date. Yes, the mortgage rates were lower, that's nice. This market is much crazy. You pay a little bit more and you can refinance.
Anyone on the fence right now, we're on the cusp. They're talking, the feds are talking about in September raising to 3/4 more. So really, now is the time, you know what I'm saying? So, Jeff?
So that was what I was like. You gotta be very careful when you say you can always refinance, right? Because it costs money to refinance. Like your hard cost on getting title again and your appraisal suing, setting all those kind of things up. You're looking at, $4 to $5 grand on typical cost, but you got buyers putting out 30-40% right now. You'll have the equity in your house, so it's not coming out of your pocket. You can roll it into a loan. Think about it, rolling $5,000 more. If you're saving $300 to $400 by reintroducing by let's say 2%, 2-3 years from now, this is $25 a month. They charge you points on the refinance. You can if you want to roll by the anyway. And it's becoming more and more of a discussion because people are trying to keep that payment down a little bit. So if they have a little bit of extra cash, they're willing to throw an extra $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 towards their loan to try to get that rate down by 3/8 or 0.5% lower. So
How much is it worth it? Or is it like, if you're here within 5 years, are you here within 10, like, is there a?
I wonder why this is all the dialogue that we're talking about. This is how I'm not just an automated system that's kicking out a payment to someone and here's your pre-approval done. I'm kind of reviewing all this stuff. People, a lot of the dialogue I'm having is you're buying this house, whether you're a first-time home buyer or a reoccurring you're selling line, only planning on staying there. I don't know. Is your wife there? Ask her too. What does she think? You having kids? Do you have kids? School? What's that dynamic look? And sometimes people might say, you're getting into too much. Well, it's important though, because think about it. Let's say if someone's spending $7,000 or $10,000 in addition to buy that rate down to save $120 a month, right? But if they sell in 3 years, they completely lost a ton of money. Or if we're hoping to look to refinance in, let's say 2 years, that rates stumble back to somewhat of a normal platform and you can refinance, you've also wasted money too as well. So you got to kind of figure out what's the road you want to take. Not that there's a right or wrong one, right? Because you might say in your head, I'm gonna wait the 2 years, because I know that rates will hopefully stabilize, maybe it comes to 4.5 or something like that, if the economy kind of right sizes itself a little bit. Well, then I could refinance them, but if you spent 8,000, now you're gonna spend 5 to refi. Now we're trying to look at apples to apples and how much are we really truly saving. Now you gotta look long term to change, right? Because you don't want to put in your mortgage, or you save in a house. And so I try to find out all these things up front. Really obviously at the application lock in. What road are we heading down? Some people are like, listen, I bought a condo, just got married, probably gonna be here 3 to 5 years. Okay, let's put the 5-year window on it. 60 months, you're gonna spend $5,000 to buy that rate down, divide that by 60 months. What's your break even? Right? So there's a lot of theory that has to go into that. And a lot of it's based on what the customers assume. I don't know if they're gonna be there 3 or 5 years. You know, if people are buying that second home, well, this is we're gonna live in Morris Plains. We're gonna raise the kids there. We're gonna be here for 20 years. That's a different conversation. They're not going anywhere. You know, we're putting addition on them. We move in because we need to have an extended family. We're not going anywhere. Having those conversations on additional costs now and not do anything for a while, they're more definitive. But for folks that are like really unsure what's going on, they have a lot of dialogue. Some people are really fast. But yeah, there's costs for definitely refinance every time you do it. For 3 months. If you go along the year ago, 6 years later, all that stuff. I get to go in. Most cases, you gotta pay for it. We have our fees. You know, there's gonna be costs as well. There's no attorney. So, has to happen, so it's gotta make sense. I mean, not refinancing someone that rates go down, you know, a quarter point, saves you $30. You know, everything's gotta kind of make sense for the buyer. Everybody's in a different situation. People might buy it now and then go, hey, I need to take money out of the house. I won the deal by putting 30% down. I need money to do the renovation, but come back to me a year later, well, I need cash, you know, to take money out of the house or put an addition out. But it's just a market.
You without everything, or this is a good one too, but a bigger one, you know, just because really, historically, we're still really, really low. The average since 1971 is 7.77%. That's the average mortgage interest rate since 1971. And look at the 1979, 1981, when it was over 18%. Lanny, you bought then? Yep, 18%. Just think about that. So, I mean, I'm sure if Carol was here, she'd be telling you stories too about times when she bought and the interest rate, you know?
There's someone.
Yeah.
Look at something real quick. So during the early mid-2000s, you see, right, everybody was buying, the government wanted every buyer to be a homeowner. So look at the rates. We're kind of getting to those similar numbers.
That was a crazy market. Remember how crazy that was for those who were in it 2006? Making it.
Everything kind of started to do what it did. Go.
Say you're paying 20% down, you're waiting. You change it to 10% down.
So whenever there's a change of either price, seller concession, right? If the buyer's decided to put less on down, typically, you know, the underside or other party, so we're getting some concession on our land. Parts to, let's say, house on the situation, buyer, the seller's haircuts in the contract, right? Typically, we'd probably give the debt just to say, hey, listen, everybody understand the house is appraised, buyers forward, and with that, action. Yeah, I mean, assuming that's what was worked out, and stuff like that, you know, but typically, I don't want to say typically it would, but you know, not everybody that's putting 20% down would automatically qualify for 10% because they need to be some form of MI But typically, I go over that with all our buyers right now, we are discussing waiving appraisals. So we have plan B or C, whether we're doing, hey, if it underappraised it by 10,000, we could do 17. If it appraised by 30,000, we could do 15, and so on and so forth. Are you okay with those increments of payments? $300 to $400 more a month. That's kind of what's going on. So as long as you're having that conversation up front, and they make that decision forward, because they're either 25% down, they make 20, so payments higher. I'm having those conversations with every buyer that we have to have that discussion.
But Kevin, then let me ask you a question, since the contract is exchanging, can the seller side back out since it's no longer?
Oh, that's probably more of an attorney question. I don't see how.
I don't think so.
I don't think they could say you change the term. Here's a commitment. Like, why would they, approve that? The other way around would be like, hey, listen, waive the appraisal. I can't afford it anymore because now I'm going 10% down. Well, that would be, we would never got here.
Yeah.
We talked about this before, right? The lowest rates do not guarantee the best real estate transaction. The real estate lowest commission rate does not usually be the best real estate experience. You guys know that all well, right? You can go sign up with someone for 2%. Never hear from them again. They just market the property and hope that someone else sells it. The mortgage advisors are part of the team and dedicated to going the extra mile to deliver the best experience from ending to closing. This was not me, unfortunately, but it's a great story. During COVID, I went to a client's home. This is a mortgage advisor. I sat 2.5 hours with her to help her through the bank and investment statements, website showing her how to save the PDFs for uploading. We did this last night with a client at 8 o'clock. After the EMD, which is the actual initial deposit, I went to her home again and helped her through the bank printout requirements. She also liquidated the transfer of funds, which required another visitor home document verification. I had 3 to 4 trips plus hours at her home with her on her computer. I have a client coming in today because they're having challenges with how to save the documents online. They're sending me like screenshots and printing things in Excel spreadsheets with no identifying information on it. They don't understand why. These are things that get people real anxious, right? They're trying to buy a house, but there's certain things that are required. And that just kind of goes back to that bottom red header. Would you online or bank lender do that? And they wouldn't, because they're just going to be like, sorry, you got to get to the defendant. We don't know. We'll wait on you at that. There's no one to hold it. You got a competitive rate on a company that knows how important closing purchase transaction is we're part of it all. Did you guys get the email I sent you yesterday regarding the sellers and buyers, the $5,000 guarantee? The barcode on there too as well. Feel free to put it with any of your offers and stuff like that. If you're trying to articulate the program, sliding that in is really, really important as far as.
An amazing thing is send it to me. As part of an offer she presented, you printed out as part, she has the pre-approval, how you send out everything in one PDF, it should be in one PDF. And the second page after the approval was about the all-in-one guarantee, all-in-one roof guarantee for both buyers and sellers, so that the seller will see it and read it and understand it. She put it in a really understandable way on there, which I thought was really, really brilliant. Why? Because your offer got accepted this morning.
On the email that you sent.
Okay, I'll check it.
And then I kept trying to register her and it only got the email address.
You got an email back when I sent it. Yeah, I sent you the email because she's registered.
Well, I got 2 like graduations, so that's just like.
Yeah, you did it twice. It was yesterday. I got a notification twice.
I forwarded it back.
Okay, but it said invalid email address, then I got like. Did she? Yeah, but I got, yeah. What was the graduation?
No, but the one you said that you were getting out.
No, because it wasn't in email. It was on the registration. Yeah.
Register her. Yeah.
I got all the words.
That did say my registration.
Question on the seller side, is that any coverage?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
And that, you know, the biggest thing is making sure you're registering and making sure that the content. All right, so we got a question of the week. What was the average 30-year mortgage rate in 2006? I kind of hinted a little bit.
No, I almost told you.
The numbers were so. 84%. 85.3. It's the 66.
Almost there, people, almost there.
I mean, just the one chart he had, if we look at it again, when it's in the slides, where it showed just from January 2021 till today, where they went. I mean, that's really, I think, a bigger obstacle, right, or challenge with clients, just how quickly, you know. I don't think it's ever went that quickly in history. I mean, it hasn't been a gradual uptick year after year, you see going up a little. No, it was like, shoot, out of nowhere, like really this January is really where we saw the biggest. Yes. Mhm. Yeah, everything has happened way too quick this year. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gas prices, inflation, mortgage interest rates, everything has gone haywire. So our main regional awards, so these are not our office awards, obviously, these are regional awards, so I get them a little later in the month. So congratulations to Tabitha for Wiker.com, topwiker.com, and amazing. Dollar volume and revenue units. Oh my God, you guys are so bad. And Osama, number one for dollar volume revenue units for new homes. Development is coming up in March, so congratulations, guys, that's awesome. We're giving Tabitha the time to take a picture. That's the whole McDonald region. That's 20 offices. 20 offices. And then congratulations to Anthony Morley. He was three. He was the third in top close units for our region. So congratulations, Anthony. Don't want to double it next month, okay, guys? So don't get comfortable, people. Don't get comfortable. And then for company awards for offices. We were number 2 in dollar volume last month out of the company. Out of 120 offices, our office was number 2 in dollar volume. Congratulations, guys, that's awesome. Whenever we're above Eileen and Andrew, it's a good month for us. When we're above those two, it's like amazing. That makes it like, it trumps it up so much more. And then for revenue units, we were number 5 for the month, again, out of 120 offices. So you guys did amazing last month. We really have a lot of great, amazing transactions going through. Newer agents doing a lot of work. I mean, it's like mixed. I want to say it's so mixed. What's coming in, it's really great to see. Morristown is by the Cherry Hill, that area. So it's Morristown and Haddonfield. So Aileen manages 2 offices, Morristown and Haddonfield. Haddonfield is like a smaller office by Morristown. She has probably about 160, 170 agents altogether, maybe more now that she has the other office. And Sparta, he always does amazing. That guy brings more business out of the amount of agents he has than anybody I've ever seen. He has probably about 100 agents, right? Not far from us, we're at like 115, right? But he gets like the amount of agents that actually are productive in his office. It's just unbelievable. So anyway, he always does a great job here. Congratulations, guys. It's amazing to be on the screen, right? That we did such a great job. So some office updates, don't forget, you have less than a year now to satisfy your CE credits. So I know at this time next year, I'll still be fighting you guys to get your CE credits done. Remember, it's every 2 years on the odd year, okay? That our real estate license is renewed and that we have to we have to satisfy our credits.
So one third to the classes like.
They've been, some people already started them, so they're doing them about once a month. I've been sending it out, yep, it's online. I mean, it's live online, but I know Carol did it already, Bob Balzerano did it already through them. Yes.
Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday next week.
Oh, Lanny's doing Wednesday and Thursday next week. There's one coming up. It's a live one online. It's just like via Zoom. Yeah.
Ours was in person.
Yeah, he was in person. So I've already satisfied mine. You know, Weicker Title does a great job. I know for the summer they don't do any, but you know, from September through like May, they'll do one once a month. They send out the emails and you can get credits from those as well. So you need 1 fair housing credit, 2 ethics, 6 core, but not to confuse you, those 3 from fair housing and ethics fall under core. So now you only need 3 core and then 6 elective. Okay, that makes sense to everybody? So fair housing they put in last year, and so that's now a standard credit that we have to satisfy. So again, just remind you guys that that's coming up. And Weicker School of Real Estate is holding the 12 CE credit class. And they have it right down so they know exactly what you need and all your credits are satisfied. Everything, yep. The one that they do satisfies everything. It's all inclusive of everything you need. So I just want to do an official welcome to Joe. I know everybody sees Joe here around, so welcome, Joe. Sue Haid, a lot of people met her last week at our happy hour. She was a breath of fresh air. She's really great. And this is luckily Nitin's here because Nitin did not get his new picture taken yet. So they'll have a picture of what he really looks like. Raise your hand, Nitin, so everybody knows what you really look like. That's the one that they have in our thing that I have to change. So that's gonna push Nitin to get his picture taken, unless he likes that one better. Whatever you like. So welcome everybody. I wanted to do an official welcome. Our team up. So every day I get a team up countdown for what our goals are for each month. So our monthly revenue unit goal for the month of June is 63. So what's a revenue unit? Revenue unit is any buyer side transactions when you hand it in, or if you have a listing, when your listing obtains a buyer, regardless of who it's from, that's a revenue unit. Okay, so those are what our revenue units are. That's what's counted on monthly awards. Just so you know, the dollar volume on that is counted through our monthly awards. So we have 63 is our objective. We're currently at 32, so we're halfway there. Our weekly revenue unit goal is 14, so we try to achieve 14. If we did 14 every week, that would bring us to 63. So far this week, for Monday and Tuesday, our daily revenue unit is, our daily revenue unit was what was put in yesterday, so that's 3. And our week to date is 5. Okay, so when I send that out every once in a while on the email, they'll be up to date on what we're looking for. Our listing objective is 27. I believe we have 13. And last month we hit our listing objective at 100%, which is really great, right? Considering we're in a low inventory market. So just to share that with you, so you know, we're in the middle of doing a open house contest so that people can win branded open house signs, which are very important to have, especially if you're doing a lot of open houses. So it's for June, July, and August. So the why, real estate is basic. You just need to be consistent with your income producing activities.
June, July, and August, monthly winners receive 4 personalized open house signs, and the grand prize winner receives 8 personalized open houses. So you must host a minimum of 4 open houses a month to qualify, must sign people in with the open house app, and you can do open houses weekends, weekdays, workers open, all qualify, okay? Because that's the best way to meet clients in this environment, it really is. So, make sure you're doing your open houses. Property management, I just want to share this with you, any referrals that you give to property management, for a personal landlord needing property management services, you do a referral, and you get $200. On my supervision, we're gonna go through everything, and I like to remember about $200. So, here's some people who have recently closed, or referred a landlord to property management. And it's changed a lot. I know in the past it wasn't as good, people did not have great experience, but Sherry I want to say right before COVID hit, and she's changed it around tremendously. So it's a whole new property company than it was prior to. So my Wiker tip, engage your database. This is something that we're going to be doing hopefully next week. I can't believe next week is the 29th of June. So we were doing engagement day, right? We're having an engagement party next Wednesday after the office meeting. Bring in 10 contacts. We're going to add them into our database, share with you how to engage with them, and then we're going to have a barbecue out in the parking lot, okay, just to have some fun. So we're going to go through all of this, but this is what you should be doing on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis, making sure you're staying engaged with your clients. It's a great way. This is your virtual assistant, right? Everybody wants a virtual assistant to keep in contact with your clients. This is what this system provides to you. So this is going through the steps on how to do that. And then, of course, we have different record newsletters in our smart campaign that are already pre-filled for you. You don't have to do anything but add it, okay? So all these nice pieces, right, for you to share with your clients. Again, some things people have been asking for forever. How do we have a nice, clean newsletter that we can share with our clients on a monthly basis? So these newsletters there's a collection of 15 branded informative newsletters, and they're sent out every 30 days on your behalf once you set it up. So it's one of those things, it's one and done, and then your client is getting one once a month. And then you want to send a test reminder to follow up with those people. Hey, been getting my emails. Hey, just following up and keeping in touch. So these are some of the newsletters that Laura has put together for you guys. Again, these are all she sends an email out in regards to it, and they're all in the My Wiker system. So real estate news, new listing increasing this year, more listings coming to the market. They're all cute, fun things to share with your clients if you want to do it. And these are under Morse Plains. Okay, so if you want to do a specific one, that's how you find them. Here's some new templates. And again, Laura has put these together for our office specifically. Okay, so there's the company ones, and there's ones that Laura has put together specifically for our office. And then here's some templates for 4th of July. Again, you can go in, set up a mass email today, but they to go out on 4th of July. It's very, very easy to do. Anybody have any questions in regards to that? I didn't change that, so we're gonna go past that. I just realized that as I'm looking at it. Tomorrow is the MTS workshop, proven tactics to generate seller leads. So if you have not signed up, you just have to scan the barcode right there on the email or this morning. Laura sent it to you via text this morning as well as email. So again, make sure you're attending one of these sessions, 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. So are you on the list? And our 4th of July engagement party, bring a dish or a dessert to share, bring 10 contacts to enter to My Wiker, and we're going to schedule mass emails with contacts, and we're going to provide burgers, hot dogs, and drinks in the parking lot. Again, our 22nd annual charity outing is August 18th. I'm not sure what we're doing this year as far as donating, except for the money that we have from here, but we'll talk about that as well. That's what we want to do. So here's some of the things that are going on during that day. And we can make kind of recommendation that we are. Yesterday, I did the Week by Hunger. So it was a walkathon, basically. It started in the back of the building. We had a lot of fun. We were raising money for those who are less fortunate, who need meals. And we went up Mount Pardis, down Cross, around, we came back down Mount Pardis and back. So these are some of the signs we were walking around with and holding out. So I asked if I could grab some, because if anybody's doing a community event or something, it'd be fun to have out, you know, if anybody wanted one for anything that they're doing out there. Yeah, I'm not sure how much we raised yet, but I will let you know as soon as I find out. And then our absorption rate. So of course, like the first two I do, Mars Lanes and Parsippany, the numbers have gone up, right? So in a week, Mars Plains went up from 17 to 23, which is significant for a town like Mars Plains, which has very little listing inventory. And then Parsippany went up from 52 to 61. And then from there, everything pretty much stayed like status quo. So the absorption rate did go up with all the towns a little bit, right? We're still in 1 or 2, so we're still considerably low. But we are seeing homes go up. So Randolph went from 41 to 47, right? So we are seeing more inventory in a lot of these towns. The office listings. Deb and Lanny.
It's exclusive right now, so we're still getting it ready. It's updated kitchen, bathrooms, all season sunroom, 4 bedrooms, 2 full, 2 half baths, almost an acre. An old pattern. I don't know if you can get it. I put more pictures on the Whiteford exclusive tools. I'm not sure if other people, if you can you have it? Other people can read that? You didn't see? Okay, so I don't know if you see it or not, but if you're interested, just text me and I'll send you.
I think you should be able to see it on Whiteford Tools. There's an exclusive tile. You can go in there and see exclusives in other offices, in other areas, in other states, basically anyone. But again, it has to be entered by the agent, right? So if the agent can enter it, then it's not going to be there. So she did. So you should be able to see her. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
And we're having an open house on Sunday, 1 to 3, and it can start being shown on Saturday, but there's no lockbox. They have a dog. So
Very nice. Very nice. For what? To sit the open house or with their clients? Oh. Yeah, yes. I think you should almost bet on who's gonna win that fight right now. That's what I wanna do.
Another cup of coffee now.
Anyone have anything coming to the market that wasn't listed yet? Bob?
Yeah, Terry, I have a new example. 3-bedroom.
Like having buyers in model, condo, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. I really don't know about. But that's what I. You know, how that. No, it's.
We're selling it to the agents. Not dissuading them from going.
The seller had it rented out, and he did, painted everything, did the floors, did the kitchen, did one of the bathrooms. It's not a lot of square footage, so that's why it's just.
But it has a lot of property.
Yeah, it has a lot of property, pictures when you take it from, $6.99. The seller wanted more, but it was like, to me, it's a tricky one to me, in my eyes, it's tricky.
And we had that listed before, right?
I think
We
so,
had
yeah.
that listed before, I don't know what you remember. I want to say, yeah, it was like before COVID. It was a while ago, yeah. No. Mm-mm. You know, when you drive by a house with your family and it's like a haunted house, oh my God, look at that house. And you think to yourself, we're on the same one day, right? I feel like that's what she's describing right now. Anyway, the new listings, Catherine Adcock has 42 Carmel Road in Newton for $969. Peter, is this still on? Okay. Okay. I heard from a lot of people that the week before was really quiet. The showings and all of a sudden people came. Yes. I don't know what happened, or maybe it was just distraction of school ending and last minute parties and stuff, but yeah. So that's for 649.
People that 28 years.
Yeah, the pictures are really beautiful. That's nice to see too. Right? Almost 5 hours. It's located, it's really great. And Christina McCarthy has 50 Walden Road, in Jefferson Township, 550. Anybody else have anything new coming on? In search of? That's nice. Well, great. So, thank you guys for coming today. You guys are so quiet. I think it's the quietest I've ever heard of everybody. Oh, wait. Wait. Hold on. I almost forget that. I don't know how. I do it every week, and yet every week I forget. Right. Ooh la la, that's right. I know, exactly. I can speak with color.